call this March 12th, 2026 Board of Education work session to order. George, can you take the roll?
Yep. Mrs. Bissell? Here. Ms. Hafner?
Here.
Mr. Micko?
Here.
Mr. Wall?
Here.
Mrs. Hausum?
Here.
All present.
We could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is strategic priorities. Our district has developed and is currently engaged in a 3-year strategic plan which reflects the values, beliefs, and hopes of our students, staff, parents, and community. There are 4 strategic priorities to the plan: transforming teaching and learning, aligning staff and resources, cultivating culture and climate, and leveraging funding and facilities. Our strategic priorities give actionable focus to our district's purpose and mission and guide the work of our strategic plan. Next on the agenda is public comment. We have no one here for public comment. Next up, we will do approval of minutes. Motion to approve the minutes of the February 19th, 2026 Special Board of Education meeting and our February 23rd, 2026 regular board meeting. All audio recordings will be a permanent part of the minutes and are available upon request through the Treasurer's Office. Video recordings shall be maintained based on the availability of the selected digital online platform. And with that, I will turn it over to George for Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mrs. Hausum. I have 2 items for your consideration tonight. Both are action items. The first one is the annual tax rate resolution. I can give a little bit more context if we want to.
Yes,
Should we do the motion and the...
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Hafner, second by Mr. Micko.
So this is an annual resolution that we get this time of year. If you remember as part of the county process, if you remember at the organizational meeting, I presented the tax budget and we approved the tax budget and submitted it to the county, which needed to be there by January 15th. This is the next step. The county looks over the tax budget, reviews it, and especially now with the new changes in tax laws, some counties, Cuyahoga County was not one, where you would have to go down and present your tax budget to the county, and then they issue this tax rate resolution. Some counties may reduce the tax rate based off your forecasts or your tax budget based on if they don't feel it's needed. In Cuyahoga County, we just submitted. They didn't require us to go down. I had an informal meeting with them, virtual, but they submitted our tax rate resolution. The tax rates are the same. They haven't changed. So these are the original voted amounts. What we see on the duplicate is the effective rates. For this purpose, it's just the voted amounts. No changes. The bond levy that we currently have, it was originally at 3 mils when it was first passed. Over time, as values increased, that's come down, and it's currently at 1.6. So they're leaving it at 1.6. So this is due back to the county by the end of the month. If the bond issue on May 5th passes, then in August they'll send us a new tax rate resolution to include the new bond levy on there, and we would need to reapprove it at that time if that would pass.
Okay.
So this is an annual process with the county that we must submit back to the county by the end of the month, and they submit it to the Department of Taxation.
Any questions for George? All right, George, can you take the roll?
Yep. Ms. Hafner?
Yes.
Mr. Micko?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mrs. Hausum?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Oop, I apologize. I did the wrong action item. Hang on one second. Okay, the next item I have is an invoice order approval. Be it resolved upon recommendation of the treasurer that in accordance with ORC that after the fact invoice, the board approves the following invoices for payment and the treasurer be authorized to sign the fiscal certificate. We have one after the fact that was for over $3,000, which was $3,600. It was actually from my department, but it was more or less due to a closed purchase order. It was, so if you're familiar with David Steed, our attorney that deals with Board of Revision cases, in some of his cases, we need to get an appraisal of whatever building that he's representing us on. So he needed to get an appraisal. He let us know he was doing this last year. We had the purchase order open. We had closed it at the end of the fiscal year, and then we ended up receiving the invoice from the company at that time, so we had to redo the purchase order, which caused the after the fact.
Great.
And based on the appraisal for this particular case, it went in our favor, and the company withdrew the complaint. So we were able to retain the revenue that was in question.
Great. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions for George? All right.
All right.
Take motion. Take the roll, I'm sorry.
Ms. Hafner?
Yes.
Mr. Micko?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mrs. Hausum?
Yes.
And Mrs. Bissell?
Motion carries.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Ryba.
We'll start under business services tonight. We have an action item for your consideration. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education accepts the proposal from Vasco for the high jump renovation at Packatan Stadium not to exceed $39,335.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Hafner, second by Mr. Micko. Any backstory?
Sure. So, as you can see on the proposals that are there, the high jump pit, which is where the marching band sits on the opposite end of the Packatan Stadium, there's a half circle where the high jump sits. It is askew from the end zone, so it is not parallel. It's angled. And I think George is putting it on the board right now so you could see the satellite imagery. So you could see the angle that it's at. That's how it was when it was a grass field, and when we first replaced the turf field, we just kept it as is. What we've learned since then is this creates not only a safety, not only a disadvantage for our current athletes, our home athletes, and our visiting athletes, but it is also a safety issue. So what this does, the high jump pit is at the top end there. If you are a high jumper, you use visual cues to mark your strides and steps to make your mark. So the visual cues are off because you're at an angle versus parallel. Also, that's extremely difficult for visiting athletes to come because nobody has a high jump pit that's at an angle like this. The second thing is it puts our right-handed jumpers at a disadvantage, as you can see, based on the angle. They have less of a starting lane than those coming from the left side. And finally, it becomes a safety issue because if you're on the right side, you want to get you count out your, I'm acting like I know what I'm talking about. It's just what people that know what they're talking about have told me that are experts in this area. You still mark out your strides to jump. So our right-handed athletes or right side jumpers, they have to start on the turf. And then once they run, they hit the low-level curb, and then they hit the track surface, which is concerning for the safety of our athletes. So we realized this. We felt now that we're doing the replacement project, let's correct this mistake that's been there. For our track athletes, it's going to still be the same great spot for the marching band in fall to play. As it says, it's not going to exceed the $39,335. In the account that is all generated by fundraising dollars, we had $67,000 left. So we have the budget to pay for this, and again, not use any general fund dollars to help support it. It comes from our fundraising dollars. So obviously I needed to rely on athletic director, our head track coach, and they all confirmed that this is definitely a need, and they are very appreciative of the consideration of the board.
Any questions? Hearing none, George, can you take the roll?
Ms. Hafner?
Yes.
Mr. Micko?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mrs. Hausum?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissell?
Yeah.
Motion carries.
Under curriculum, we have 4 overnight trips for your consideration. This is postseason, or postseason is wrapped up. We still have wrestling going on. but these are for trips that happen prior to the board meeting because of postseason play. So number one was our high school boys wrestling team went to Wadsworth for the district wrestling tournament that took place March 6th and 7th. Transportation was by school bus, lodging and meals were paid by wrestling team funds and the boosters. Under number two, this was for the girls wrestling team to travel to Findlay for the district wrestling tournament on March 7th and 8th. Transportation and meals were provided in the same manner. Under number three, for boys and girls swimming, they traveled to Bowling Green, Ohio for the Northwest District Swimming Championship that was on February 20th to 21st. Transportation was via school bus, and lodging and meals were paid by the athletic boosters. And finally, under number four, our gymnastics team traveled to Hilliard for the state championship and took third place, which is a phenomenal finish. And we did have, I can't remember the specific, we did have a state champion. I think, I don't want to say, we'll recognize them in the future, but an individual, we had a state indoor track athlete that finished top in the state, as well as an individual state champion. So we'll properly recognize those wonderful athletes here shortly. But they traveled to Hilliard on March 6th through 8th. And again, we provided busing and lodging and meals were paid by the gymnastic boosters and gymnastic team funds.
Dr. Iba?
Yes.
It was Lauren Pisani who got first place for uneven parallel bars.
Thank you. And if we're,
I was going to say.
that's
it has
what,
to be
thank you.
G.
Thank you. Let me, do you have, I'm going to look and see what she qualified
Was it the
for.
800? The 800 or the 1600? She's a distance runner.
Yeah, it just said two-time champion. I don't have the event that she got the champion,
It was either the half or the
championship
mile.
in. Was the mile? Yeah.
Okay.
So awesome for
Yes.
those student athletes, and we look forward to bringing them here in the spring to recognize them. Under student services, be resolved upon the recommendation of superintendent that the board enters into an agreement with STEPS Educational Group for the placement of a student with disabilities for the 25-26 school year, based from the start date of March 2nd, 2026, in the amount of $33,205.50 per the attached agreement. Finally, we do have under Human Resources two items for your consideration. Item one is the resignation of a non-certificated staff member, and item two is the appointment of interim assistant athletic directors, those two positions for your consideration. And if there's not any questions, that concludes my report.
I only have one question before the board.
Okay.
What's going on with the motion and voting thing?
I
Yeah,
just
when
noticed that.
when I did the wrong one, when we did that one, it screwed the whole thing up. And I've been trying to figure it. No,
Something wrong with my computer.
no, that's where.
I just saw the gold star. I'm like,
Yeah,
somebody
that's
got a gold
where it,
star. Because we're just seconding, he gets a
when I
gold
did the
star.
first one, I thought I was on mine, but in here I was on the minutes, and I thought I was doing that, and it was since it was part of the consent, it just added for. So I'm hoping when we do the consent now, it overrides it. Yeah, we'll see. If
find
not,
out.
I'll fix it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, we will move on to consent calendar. Action by the Board of Education and adoption of consent calendar at this point of the agenda means that all items appearing in this agenda denoted as type action consent, which items constitute the consent calendar, are adopted by one single motion unless a member of the board or the superintendent requests that such items be removed from the consent calendar and voted upon separately. Do we have anything that needs to be removed? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
George, can you take the roll?
Ms. Hafner,
Yes.
Mr. Miko,
Yes.
Mr. Wall,
Yes.
Mrs. Hausum,
Yes,
Mrs. Bissell.
Yes.
motion carries. Next, we have Board of Education Other. Do we have any others? All right, hearing no others. Next, we have executive session. We do have need for executive session.
To consider the employment of a public employee.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Motion by Ms. Hafner, second by Mr. Miko. George, can you take the roll?
Ms. Hafner?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mrs. Hausum?
Yes.
Mrs. Bissell?
We'll enter into executive session at approximately 6:50. We don't see need to resume public session after, so I want to wish everybody a good night.
And it appears that it worked out.
It did.
Good job.